So without further ado, I'm going to ask the person to bring up the slide, and then I'll share my experience to show you that it's very practical and it's something that I've experienced and seen benefits from. Could you join me in prayer before I begin? Dear God and Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this experience. I just pray now that you will just remove everything that is not of you from me and open the hearts and ears of those who are listening, dear God, to see that there is always a better way and to see that all things are possible if they are just willing to choose your way, that they can be happier and become more empowered, dear Lord, more empowered and have more control over their lives. So I pray that you will bless this evening's setting, and may all be left, dear Lord, feel satisfied that there is a better way. Thank you for hearing my prayers. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So when we talk about child health, I'm talking about from before birth, of course. As you saw, the picture with the pregnant lady. So for those who are planning to having children, it begins from before you have a child. So you have to, if you are married and you're planning to have children, you have to start looking at your health from now and saying what you're going to change and adjust so that you can produce a healthy baby. So that's for when you're going to plan to have a child. So when you have the child, you're also going to have to consider how you're going to feed that child. You don't have to buy formulas. And because that's a waste of money, I'm just going to be honest. It's a waste of money, and it's not as healthy as the advertisements say that they are. Because if you read the ingredients and you check them out, you'll see for yourself. But I'm not going to really stick to that area. But there are many other options. Well, there's one main option, and that's the breastfeed. And but there's another option for those who are not able to pump a lot of breast, or they are going to work out and they can't express it and leave it in the bottle. There's another option, but I won't share that with you now. But if you want to know, I can give you the information afterwards. All right, so I want to start off by reading a quotation that Sister White says. She says, "Parents and teachers, in taking the responsibility of training these children, do not feel their accountability before God to become acquainted with the physical organism, that they may treat the bodies of their children and pupils in a manner to preserve life and health. Thousands of children die because of the ignorance of parents and teachers. Mothers will spend hours over needless work upon their own dresses." Well, I guess that's back in her days when people were making their own clothes. "And those of their children to fit them for display, and will then plead that they cannot find time to read up and obtain the information necessary to take care of the health of their children." That part is still relevant to us, to read up and find information to take care of the health. Because the health, is just as how you're excited about the education, because I notice Adventist parents, they're so into the education of their children, wanting them to get A's and whatnot. But we should be also interested, we should be very interested in their health, because that's the foundation of everything. Because if they're not healthy, they won't be able to learn, real properly. And as I say, the health, it hinges on everything. So we need to find time to find out what's the best thing for them. They think it less trouble to trust their bodies to the doctors. Now, in order to be in accordance with fashion and custom, many parents have sacrificed the health and lives of their children. But we're not going to do that, seeing that we're in a more information age. The last quotation I want to share before I go into that is this very important one, where she says that the first education children should receive from the mother in infancy should be in regard to their physical health. They should be allowed only plain food of that quality that would preserve to them the best condition of health. And that should be partaking of only as regular at regular periods. This is the part I'm going to talk about. And oftener than and not oftener than 3 times a day. And 2 meals would be better than 3. If children are disciplined aright, they will soon learn that they can receive nothing by crying or fretting. A judicious mother will act in training her children, not merely in regard to her own present condition, but for the child's future good. And to this end, she will teach her children the important lesson of controlling the appetite and of self-denial, that they should eat, drink, and dress in reference to health. So this thing about health is not just about just the eating, but it's actually helping the child to practice self-denial. When my child was younger, he wasn't trained to eat like sweetie and those things, so he was not used to it. So he went somewhere and somebody was offering sweetie to him, and he looked at it and he gave it back to the lady. I was very far distant from him, observing what he was going to do. And he looked at it and he gave it back to her and shook his head, because he was not used to that. And so it is something that will embed a principle in them of self-control and discipline. And that was the thing that attracted me to the health message, the whole discipline and self-control. I found that to be a nice trait. And that was the first thing I became when I became an Adventist, a vegetarian, because I thought it offered discipline. And but let me continue to say, many children have been ruined for life by urging the intellect and neglecting to strengthen the physical powers. The place for physical training to begin is in the home with the little child. Parents should lay the foundation for a healthy, happy life. One of the first questions to be decided is that of the food on their tables, for this is a matter upon which the development of these little ones and the health of the family very largely depend. Skill in the preparation of food is very important, and it is not less important that the food be of proper quantity and quality. So we want the children to enjoy what they're eating. So we shouldn't just give them vegetables and just plain vegetables and say, eat it because it's good for you. You want to entice them. So you want the child to eat vegetables. What are you going to do now? Before I share that with you, I have to go through the key points of some of the problems that I think a lot of Adventists are having. Because sometimes I see people come to church and the children, they come with a snack bag. And when they come with the snack bag, by 10 o'clock, the child is gone to eat, like cheese sticks or juice. And in my mind, I'm thinking, didn't the child have breakfast? Were they too busy to have breakfast? Probably sometimes when you investigate, it's no, they didn't have breakfast. Sometimes they had breakfast, but they didn't eat something sufficient. So they're now hungry again in 2 hours' time. So the first thing that we want to ask the Lord to help us regulate is have regular hours for meals. Children can have regular hours for meals, and we're going to see how that can be possible. No snacking in between meals, not even on a fruit. Did you hear what I say? Because people think that if we snack on a fruit, it's okay. No, not even on a fruit, because you're disturbing the process of digestion. Not even a juice. You heard what I said? Not even juice. Before I learned that juice is food, because before I was thinking, oh, it's liquid, so it just passed through the system. It has sugars in it, which needs to break down, right? So that's digestion. So now you introduce something that needs to digest in 2 hours after you had something, then you're interrupting the digestion process. So if you really want to have your juice, have it like for your third meal. You can have that for your third meal now. You can have a shake for your third meal. You can have fruits for your third meal. You can have smoothie or even ice cream for your third meal. Because I wouldn't recommend you having ice cream as a dessert after your meal, because ice cream is too cold. And when something is too cold in that whole process of eating, it interferes with digestion. Sister White has a lot to say about that in this little book called Counsels on Diets and Food, about very cold and very hot food and how it disturbs digestion. But we're not going to go into that because that's a lot of details. So have water in between your meals instead, and have 3 meals maximum per day. We have been taught that breakfast should be our largest meal, and it can be also for the child. For my child in the morning, I give him dumpling and yam and curry chickpeas and fruits, and then I give him nuts afterwards. It sound like too much? Okay. And he eats more than me. He eats more than I do. Not that I eat a lot, but Caleb, he eats like 3 dumplings, a piece of yam, and some curry, and he eats like 2 fruits, and then he will eat some nuts afterward. Caleb is 10. And that's how he eats. So when Caleb eats 7:30 in the morning, he doesn't have to eat until he comes home. You know what time he comes home? 2:30. We used to carry the lunch to him at the time, because I had worked out a deal with the teacher that I don't feed because they have lunch too early. They have lunch at 11:30. There's no way Caleb can eat at 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. 4 hours. The food needs time to digest, and then he needs another hour for digestive juices to be formed. So it's between 5 to 6 hours he should be eating. So initially, I had spoken to the teacher and asked her, can I take his lunch at 1 o'clock? And is he going to interrupt anything? And she cooperated, and that was great for me. But because every time when he gets his lunch, the children want to know, what you have? Everybody is always interested in his food because his food is different. He's a very private person. He doesn't like it. So he says, Mommy, I want to eat when I come home. So we stopped that arrangement. So I started feeling fretful for him that, wow, how is he going to manage for that long? Because that is sometimes all 6 hours, 7 hours. He said he's okay. And trust me, the training that we had at Wildwood made him become okay in managing that type of a way. So he now waits until he comes home and he eats his food. And he still eats a lot. So for lunch, he would eat like, say, baked potatoes with some stew or some burgers and whatever. He has that, and with some raw food, and then he has his nuts, and he eats well. So he wouldn't eat a third meal. With all of that eating, he just eats 2 meals. He doesn't have any snack. He doesn't drink any juice in between. He just drinks his water in between, and his water in the evening. But when he used to have his lunch early, when he comes home in the evening, I would give him like a popsicle, or a homemade popsicle, that is. Or I'd give him some fruits, something light like that, because he's going to go to his bed, soon. So, and he has been doing that since 2.5. He has been on a 2-meal diet from he was 2.5, and he's pretty healthy because he has been to the doctor to check if he's healthy. So it is something that is possible that you can put into the routine of your child, or if your child is not doing that any at all, it can work little by little, so you can cut out buying snacks. Caleb, I don't buy snacks. I don't know what it is like to buy snacks or to buy juice, because he doesn't drink juice. If he's doing juice, I make the juice. If I'm going to treat him to a snack, it's going to be a healthy snack. Like I would buy a big bag of, they claim it's organic Whole Foods chips, those healthy chips. Something like that, and then I would treat him with it. No, there are some tricks in getting children to eat what you want them to eat. When I want Caleb to eat his nuts, his seeds, the nuts that he doesn't like, the only nut he likes is cashew. So if I want him to eat walnuts, I want him to eat flaxseed, sunflower seed, and the other seed. I grind it up and put it in his cereal. He doesn't taste it any at all. If he sees when I'm putting it in there, he's gonna have a fit. But if he doesn't eat it, you cannot get none of these chips. Remember what I told you, I have the chips in there to use as a tactics. And the chips I'm talking about is a healthy chips, where you only have 4 ingredients, like you say, organic, non-GMO corn chips with the oil and the salt, like a 3-ingredient one. They sell it in Price Mart, those big healthy chips. So it just has 3 or 4 ingredients. So I would have something like that, or I would make a popsicle and say, if you don't eat these seeds, you can't get the popsicle later. So I've come up with some devices to get him to do a few things. Now, bribe, it's a healthy bribe. It's a holy bribe. Now, if you want them to eat their vegetables, you cannot give. We Jamaicans, because we don't like vegetables, we don't spend a lot of time on vegetables. We don't like vegetables. So we eat vegetables very boring and bland. You have to come up with some good dressing. Homemade dressing, because those commercial dressing are too pack of all sorts of things and they taste bad. I don't know how you find them to taste sumptuous. But you have some simple, wholesome dressings that are very tasty and will make anybody gull up the vegetable salad. So you have to make nice dressings to get them to eat it. Now, apart from, those were the days when I used to crush up the things in his meal. Now I give him them whole. And he eats them because I drizzle a little agave syrup on it to whet his appetite. So agave syrup is a good, it's a healthy sweetener. So to get him to eat the seeds, I drizzle agave on it for him to eat it, and he eats it up. So you have to be so vigilant with your child's eating and find ways to get them to eat the things that they need to eat. So, So some of the things that you know children love and you can't deprive them from are popsicles. And we see the store-bought ones. People or taste buds have become so warped that I don't know how we eat those things. I made the mistake of one day we were going to the beach and I just felt for something cool and refreshing. And I kept seeing this popsicle sign on a billboard or something, and it looked so nice, like it's made from real strawberries. And I said, wow, I think I remember seeing something in the supermarket that's made from, strawberries. Let me see if we can, whatever. And I made the mistake and buy it. And Lord of mercy, they say it has strawberry, But as I tasted it, I could taste the unnatural taste. It just felt like I was eating chemicals. To be honest, my taste bud is so sensitive that it tasted so unreal, so unnatural, that I'm like, people really eat this and find it nice? And when I make my popsicles, Caleb can't gainsay that this, because he tasted that one too the day that we bought it, that this tastes way better. So I want to share with you some recipes that I know and have tried that are very tasty, that you can do. It's very easy and quick. You blend up in your blender for children to have. I have them more than Caleb have them, so it's not a children thing. Popsicles that they can have, ice cream that they can have. Sister Marian, she does very wonderful ice cream. You can even ask her about, well, I really wouldn't ask Marian about hers because her one takes more process, because I have one similar to hers that takes too much time. I want to share with you things that are simple. You see, because I'm passionate about the things, nothing don't take long to me. I make my own ice cream from scratch by making the coconut fat, by blending more than one coconut, put it in the fridge, let it overnight, release the fat. Then I blend that. Then it takes me 3 days to make real ice cream. But I have no qualms with doing that because I have a determined purpose to feed my child and to not let him long after the world. But I'm going to share a simple one that is easier, much easier. I don't want to stress you out. Mm-hmm. Yes. Agave syrup. It is sweet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, not the vegetables, the seeds you're talking. Mm-hmm. No, for Caleb, I did not introduce seeds into his diet at the time that I should have. And so he is not all excited about seeds. he will, or nuts, or every nut. So he will eat some nuts readily, but for like the walnut, which I really am interested in him eating, which is good for the brain, he doesn't like it raw. Ask him why he is not inclined to it. Could be, the only thing I could say is probably because I introduced it too late. Because like, I'm sharing this with you now, and if you're to introduce this to your child, you're going to have a little challenge. But if you maintain this steadiness, you will find the reward. It takes a little time. And so I didn't do every single thing right initially with him. Because even vegetables, he was more a lover of fruits like myself when I was pregnant. I didn't introduce vegetables early enough to him. If you introduce vegetables to your baby, give your baby green juice. Listen to me. Because we don't understand how we can feed our children and let their skins be glowing, their blood be pure. From they are very small, we can give them green juice. From they are very small, we can give them those things that, as long as they have these teeth, you know. I'm talking about that kind of a small. Because I don't want to tell you to introduce food to your children that they don't have any gastric juice to digest. Right? So I'm talking when they have the molars. No. So from they're very small, you can introduce those things to them little by little. And so they will become accustomed and used to it. So when they're older, you don't have to be doing those little tricks and trades like I did. So I didn't introduce everything to him initially. It's as I started learning, I said, oh no, I start to. So in doing it, I had to do those little tricks and trades. So if you're just going to start it, you're going to have to introduce some of those little things to get it done. So, but if you don't have your child yet, and you're going to start new and start doing the right thing, you will have it even much smoother than I did. Because I had a few challenges with Caleb because of not doing every single thing that I should have, and that is because I wasn't fully educated or informed. But even though I didn't do it, I still get him to do it. And it's still not that hard for me to get it done. So I'm just sharing with those who are just going to start, or they're doing it but they're having challenges, ideas as to how you can get it done. But for the person who is going to start fully fresh with a brand new child, you're going to have it smooth sailing. Because I know of other children who, they're born drinking green juice, born eating all of these things that we think are yucky, because of how the mother ate and because of how the baby started eating. So it's not something that is impossible. But that's the reason why I had to do that with Caleb. Now, yes, I was sharing with you that instead of giving them the vegetables bland, go on the internet and find some nice, tasty honey, dressing, using cashew to making a mayonnaise dressing, using avocado when it's avocado time to make that Mexican guacamole, and put it on top of the vegetables if they don't like avocado. You try other things, but try to be creative to get them to eat the healthy things that you want them to eat. And as I mentioned, the seeds, that's a sunflower seed. You put it in their cereal. You ground it up, put it in their cereal, or if they will eat it whole, more power to you. But you can ground it up and put it in their cereal. Because it's very nutritious. Now, this is a mayonnaise dressing that I did today. Now, today, brethren, everything that I had from morning to evening, I made from scratch. And it was a proud feeling. I had granola, which I made. I had walnut milk, which I made. I had bread, which I made. I had hummus, which I made. Then for lunch, I had hummus is something made from chickpea, a paste. Then for lunch, I had burger buns, which were so soft and sumptuous, with some burgers, the only thing I didn't make was the lettuce and the tomato, with some ketchup that I made, with some mayonnaise, which I made. And it's such a powerful feeling to know that you know what you're putting in your body. My son said, boy, mommy, this tastes good. When your child can tell you that, trust me, you must feel good. Because children are really, they're fussy and funny. Because it's not everything that I do that he says tastes good. So I have to wheel and come again every time. And he said, this one really make it, mommy. And I said, really? That's good. Yes, because they're very honest. So what I'm trying to tell you is you don't give up easily. They might say, oh, this one tastes bad, but you keep trying and keep trying. So for the whole day, everything that I ate today was made by me, and it was a good feeling, and because I know what is in it. So make some mayonnaise and put on the salad or on the mashed potato or whatnot. So this is a popsicle recipe that I want you to try. Your children will love you for it. You will love yourself for it because you will want it. So, so it's just made from fruits. Oh, sorry, go back. Put the mayonnaise, yeah. So it's just really made from fruits. You're gonna see what the ingredients is. It's made from fruits. You can give that to them, as I said, because I don't want to encourage you to be feeding your child badly. That could be for a third meal. In the evening, instead of giving them something heavy, give them it for a third meal. So while you're taking the picture, let me walk you through a better way to help your child. If the breakfast is heavy, they won't need snack. So when they have snack time at school and the children are snacking, the child doesn't have to have snack. The child can have their water. Then when lunchtime comes, they can have their healthy lunch. And after that, depends on what time they have lunch. If they have it like 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock is pretty early. So probably when they come home, 5 o'clock, you could give them something. And that something would be in the form of one of those type of treats. Like if you make ice cream, which I'll show you a simple recipe of ice cream. Am I allowed to just sip a little water? My throat is a little dry. Just a little, okay. Thank you very much. And so so it's that time you would treat them to that popsicle or ice cream bit. Now, in between, you encourage them to drink more water. So, I notice most children don't drink a lot of water, so they have constipation problem. They can drink a lot of water if you train them. Right now, Caleb drinks like something this big for the day. And he will drink even more when he gets home because he was trained from early to drink a lot of water. So you can try and introduce that. One of the good ways to do it is when they get up in the morning, give them a glass of water before their breakfast, like 30 minutes before. If that is too much discipline, all right, no problem. But feed them with some fruits while they're having their meal so that they won't eat and drink. Because one of the problems that children have is that when I go out, I see children, they're drinking and they're eating. Adults do it too, But we don't have to eat and drink if we drink a lot of water 30 minutes before our meal. Or say you didn't drink any water in the morning before your meal. When you're having your meal, have fruits that have liquid in it so that you won't feel that insatiable dryness, that thirst for some liquid. Because eating and drinking, it dilutes the digestive juices. So you don't want to be eating and drinking, whether water or juice, with your meal. So a good practice is to start drinking your meal first, having the child to do the same. Or if you didn't get the chance to, you have to push them to do those little things. Then you just make sure that they're having some fruit with some juice in it that will help them to not feel so thirsty. Before their meal time, it would be good to encourage them to sip their water before it reaches their lunchtime. I don't know if they practice it at that school, but I know when Caleb was going to the school overseas, they would have their water time because the teacher would ensure that they drink their water because they know the importance of drinking their water before their meal. So, but as I say, everything is going to take time. So that's a pineapple popsicle. This one is a berry That's a berry popsicle. That's another one that you can try for them. You can look up others if you don't like berries. If you don't like pineapple, there are other flavors that you can try. Use up the YouTube wisely, man. Use up YouTube for those sensible things. When I'm using YouTube, I use it for health purpose, prophecy purpose, and things to take care of my hair. So we must look up for things that can edify us and we can be of blessing to other people instead of watching other things that we do watch. So some of these very things are on YouTube. So when you're very interested in accomplishing a certain thing, you will do just about anything. I go out of the way when it comes on to my child and his eating because I see the challenges that that children have. Can I move from this one? Now, this is another one. It's banana nice cream. It's using banana to make ice cream. So this is what I was saying to you, that this is easier than using the coconut base ice cream because not many of you have access to coconut cream. So in making the coconut cream, it might be tedious, even though I know of somewhere that you can access the actual thing without you doing it. And I know that cashews are expensive, and cashews do make nice ice cream with the combination of coconut. But for those who are watching budget and don't like the hard work, this is very easy. You just dice up the banana, freeze it, and you add the other things that you see there. Very easy. And you put it to freeze for 6 hours. Sorry. Oops. So those two I'm just going to share with you. But brethren, while you're taking whether notes or, doing it, the health of your child is more important than you actually think. Because it eliminates a lot of things. I told you that you can cut your food bill, right? So in our home, our food bill is not expensive because of the whole heap of unnecessary food. We just eat basic what we need. And because we don't have so much meal to devour for the day, this 3-meal thing, I don't have to be cooking so often. But you're talking about cutting the hospital or the doctor's visit. Because Caleb doesn't get all of these holy things, praise God, because he has a little more resistance. I don't tell you he has never been sick, but he has a little more resistance than the normal child. So in feeding and pumping, fueling in your child wholesomeness, you're also saving that headache of going to the doctor every minute. Every little thing come out, you have to be worrying that your child is going to catch it because of immunity. Go ahead, you have a question? Yes. Oh no, this is a blender one. You don't need an ice cream maker to make ice cream. You don't need an ice cream maker, you just need a blender, and most people have a blender. You can, even the food processor can do it. Yeah, you don't need ice cream maker. All you do when you blend it, that's why you need to freeze the fruit first. So when you freeze it and you blend it with the other ingredients, then it comes out. If you want it to be smoother, you might have to go through the process of reblending it before you have it. So, and it depends on the type of blender that you have. But you don't have to worry about ice cream maker. No. Because everything I'm sharing with you, I want it to be practical and reachable for everybody. I don't want you to think you have to go out there and buy this and buy that, or that is too expensive. It's simple things that are accessible that we all already have. So that's one of them. And this one is a berry ice cream. You have any questions? Go ahead. Huh? Okay, carob. Oh, somebody's asking about carob powder. That's for the one that we saw before. Carob powder is a alternative to cocoa powder. Like when you have chocolate ice cream, the carob powder gives you the chocolate ice cream version. So carob is from a plant. It is plant-based. It is very reasonable price. It is sold in the health food stores. One at a time, please. It is local. So you see, it's even local. But as I said, for those who don't want to go through that tedious route of roasting it and grinding it, You can buy the powder at the store. That's simple. So it is sold at the health food stores, and it's very reasonable. Nothing expensive I'm sending you to buy. It has a nice chocolate replacement. I used to be obsessed with chocolate, and it has satisfied my desire. I use it to make chocolate, as in carablets. So instead of eating chocolate, I make the vegan version of chocolate. And no, the carob chips, I stopped eating them after I read what they used to make them. So not everything that they say is health food is health food. You have to read your ingredients. The plainer the better. Now, I used to eat the carob chips, and I used to use them in my ingredients, feeling happy that, yay, I found chocolate chip substitute. When I read it, it has sugar as the first ingredient. And I had cut out sugar out of my diet a long time. And I had seen the result of what cutting sugar out of my diet did. It cleared up all of my acne that was on my back. So it has sugar as the first ingredient. It has some other things in it that I don't eat. So I wouldn't encourage this carob chip. You can make your own carob chip, because I say I make my own chocolate with the carob powder and just 2 other ingredients. Oh, yes, you can add some Himalayan salt to bring up the flavor. Since I bring up the Himalayan salt thing, I want to say just the pink salt. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, it's a pink salt that I'm talking. For those who have hypertension and they're afraid of using salt, I would recommend if you could watch the YouTube video that Barbara O'Neill does on salt and the importance of salt, and break down the science of everything about it, then you'd feel safe in eating salt, that type of salt, whether it be the Celtic or the Himalayan. Because right now, I know a hypertensive person, that's the only salt she uses, and she doesn't have a problem using it. So if you learn more, you see, knowledge is power, you know. You see, when you just hear things by and by, you deprive yourself of this and that, and you become extreme. But when you educate yourself, then you become powerful, and then knowledge expels fear. Because then you're so fearful that, oh, if me eat salt, me go get this, and you get what I'm saying? So knowledge is power. It expels fear. So you know that the salt, it's balanced with minerals, so you don't have to fear it. And you need these minerals in order to normalize your blood pressure anyhow. So watch her video on salt, and you will feel more well-informed, educated, and feel more comfortable in having salt in your diet and the type of salt that she talks about. So basically, that's really a summary of what I wanted to share with you, that you can try and cut out all of those store-bought ice cream, popsicles, cheese sticks, suck, bag juice out of your child's diet and put in more natural things. Use fruits to make bag juice. You get what I'm saying? Use up what you have in the house instead of taking your money to buy these poisonous things that are damaging the child's body, spoiling up their face, giving them pimples from there early because of those excess sugar and so on and so forth in those food. And cut down the amount of time that you let them eat, because their stomach, it's overworking. If you keep giving them food every 2 hours, then what do you think is going to be happening to their stomach? The stomach needs time to rest. So we have to teach them how to eat just 3 meals maximum for the day, and teach them how to drink too. Let them drink their water in between their meals, and give them simple plant-based things.